I think we're in this space, in this situation where we kind of accept that like a lot of guys won't do what we want them to do, but that's not the case. He just isn't into you.
The worst place that I've had sex. How should I say this?
But we don't give the space for straight men to do same-sex bits and for it to not have a long-lasting effect. I feel like the creative space though in London is actually quite small.
Yeah, I think like you, what's the word? It's very like even if you're a musician, like a dancer, like you will know someone somewhere. Like I think like just how like common like people attend gigs or shows or whatever, you'll see someone or you'll know someone who knows someone who knows someone.
Would you count yourself as a creator as well? Because I would. I don't know if that's just because I like just consume it.
Creator or creative? Or creative?
Well, both, I suppose.
I mean, creative, yeah.
I don't know if that's because I consume your TikToks quite a lot, and I think of creators as people who like talk, and obviously.
Yeah, I think like in like, I think in the last like year or so, I think probably I've like called myself a creator, like, and I think like my content has had to sort of like kind of not diverge, but like sort of like has to sort of complement my music as well. I think before it was very kind of, you know, just doing a lot of like music stuff, that sort of stuff. And then after a while I was like, okay, I also have a personality that I want to show on TikTok.
And sometimes I think, do you know what? Sometimes I think if you have more than one skill set, it can be quite beneficial. Because I think, how do I word this? Like I've known people who, not personally, but I've known of people who have been like musicians and they've done well. And then it hasn't gone the way in which they wanted to, but they're lucky enough to have a personality, so then they've kind of flourished doing that. The thing of an example, like Fleur East. Do you know what I mean? Like she's great, and she's a very good presenter, for example. But no, I think recently I've really underestimated how small the creative space is in London, especially because I don't live in London, but obviously I'm known in London because of what I do. And like I think I had a bit for a long time. I had like a lot of like imposter syndrome with contacting people to like film with. But then more than not, when I contact people, they'll be like, "No, I know who you are." Which is when, how's your week been? Talk to me.
Yeah, good. Now we starting now.
I mean, we'll just talk.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you because it makes people feel funny. So we're just going to talk.
Good. As I said, new job, kind of sort of mentally kind of, you know, sort of fixing myself in regards to like, the new year and all the plans I have, etc. It's sort of been sort of like a good few weeks, especially that towards the end of last year, kind of like doing a lot of like planning for like 2024 in regards to sort of like my sort of like goals and stuff. But so far so good. Good vibes. The country's still messed up.
I try not to think about it because I get. Do you know, I was actually talking to a mate about it earlier, and he really wants to move out of the UK. I don't know where he's going to go. He hasn't planned that far ahead. And he was like, I just really don't know the UK. And I was like, well, where are you going to go? He was like, I don't know. And he was like, I just find it, how did he word it? He was like, I just find it very depressing. I was like, I hear it. I also find it very depressing.
Yeah, it's so depressing. There's nothing that you can look to and say, oh, this is cool. Like, everything's expensive.
The only thing that I can kind of big up, and that's only somewhat not fully, is the healthcare. But even that's like declining. Just the fact that it's free. The fact that it's free.
Oh, yeah, but it's free, but like, it's not great.
It takes like 2 years to get
oh my God,
have you noticed I don't know if it's like it where you live, but with me, to get an appointment or a consultation, you have to like ring first thing in the morning, and if you're not like in like the first like
it's like you're like number 31 in like a queue.
And if you're not in the first 15, you have to ring back the following day. Yeah.
Following day.
So if you're not like in the first 15 or 20, they're very much like, oh, you're going to have to call tomorrow. You didn't make the cut. Because the doctor can only ring back a certain amount of people.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
So you have to like be there. Like,
I missed the days where you could call.
5 to 8.
You could call and before like 2010, you could see GPs like the weekends. Couldn't
all the days where you could literally just walk in. Be like, oh, something's wrong.
Yeah, now it's like impossible.
It's like A&E. I was talking to someone who went to A&E the other day, and they had like some organ failure or something. But because they weren't like, because it wasn't like. It was organ failure or some kind of failure, but because it wasn't like, because the heart rate wasn't going down, they weren't a priority, and they were waiting for like hours. I thought, Jesus, like it's just, yeah, it's very messy.
Do you know what I hate? Like, what is it? Telephone appointments. Like, hate them so much. Like, at least I don't know if you have them, but like where I am, like you'll literally have an issue where like you have pain somewhere, very like burning, or like just like very like heavy pain like somewhere in your body. You call them, you have an appointment. Oh, so we're actually going to have a telephone interview with you. And don't you find it's like just get me in, like, you know what I mean?
And don't you find it worse how I find it worse how like they'll tell you that they'll run you back, but they don't tell you what time. It'll be any time between. It's really unsociable hours when you're going to be working.
Actually, I think I'm working in the office. I'm like, sorry, I'm in a
it'll be but like in between 10 to 3.
Yeah.
10 or 3 even, sorry, and that's like a stupid like 5-hour, 7-hour
and
range.
If you miss them, you got to call them the next day. But then even when they call you the next day, there's no time for waiting. Yeah. Like it's just like I just hate it so much. But yeah, no, I mean the NHS is, as a concept, is good. But
where would you move to if you could? If you had all the power to move away?
I've always said I would never move to America.
Well, you're black, so I'd be quite concerned if you did. But then, to be fair, saying that there are certain places where you'd be alright.
I don't know. I never thought about it, to be fair, because like, so I haven't travelled much like in my life. Like, so I've really been to France, Spain, and Italy, but they were all school trips. I've been to Ghana, where I'm from, but like years ago. Like,
are you second generation?
I don't know what that means.
So your parents were born there?
Yeah, born there.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
And yeah, so been there when I was like 9 years old.
Okay, it doesn't really count then, does it? Not to diminish it.
Yeah, you don't really remember much, right? And then I went to Northern Ireland last year, but that's like part of the UK-ish, so like so not really sort of travel. But I think I don't know, probably somewhere in Europe. But yeah, just bad vibes. Like if I could move out, I think where I would go, it would have to have a very good like creative scene. I'd want to be like in the middle of nowhere and just sort of like just have.
I wouldn't be able to tell you where it does though, to be honest.
Like
I wouldn't be able to tell you where it does, like in the UK.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like outside of the UK, sorry. Apart from America and Canada, I actually can't think of anywhere. But I don't know if that's because
it has a creative scene.
Yeah, but that's only. I think that's because that's just where I seem to.
I know Berlin's got like a popping.
Really, that's fun.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of like culture going on there, especially like the art sort of scene.
Okay, nice.
But I guess Germany, I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't know. I've always. Where would you go if you were to move out?
Canada.
Is it?
Everyone just seems very happy there.
Though.
It is cold.
I don't want to be like chilling like on the road one time, like a fucking like coyote sort of comes. Like.
It is cold, but like even still, every person who I know who has gone there is just so happy. So my friend is there currently. He's been there since November. Mm-hmm. He won't come home. He'll never move back. Yeah, he loves it. And the pay there is like really bad for what he does. No, the pay in general is quite good, but the pay that he's doing for his job is quite bad. But he loves Canada so much. He's like, I'll pattern it. I can cope.
Yeah.
And that says a lot, I think, because in the UK it's not enough to have a bad paid job if you have an alternative. Mm-hmm. Whereas he loves Canada so much, he's like, I can just deal with it.
Okay. Yeah. No, one thing I realised about like UK is like compared to like, especially like when I graduated, like regards to like pay and stuff, for like job, for example, like a marketing job here and a marketing job in America, like the difference in pay is like is massive.
You can't even compare them because they're not even similar. You shouldn't compare them because they're not even similar.
What do you mean?
Like I don't think it's fair to compare because they're just so like outrageously different.
But are they different to the point where like the sort of like entry level positions, for example, was like a massive sort of difference, like in sort of like starting salary?
But it's one extreme to another.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's fair to compare because it's just so drastic.
Okay.
And it's almost like, how can we compare when one's doing so well and one's doing so shit?
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, let's not listen to a political podcast. It's too early for that. Anyway, so right, well, Happy New Year. This is the first episode of the new year. How exciting.
Yeah.
How are we are you someone who celebrates New Year? Is that your energy? What did you do for New Year's?
What did I do for New Year's? I made some music. I kind of like, I mean, I celebrate the first like 2 hours of New Year, and like, hey, back to normal.
As in like what, 12 to like 2 a.m.?
12 to like 2 a.m, like, you know, probably at someone's place, like at a party, like, you know, do my thing. Then got back to work, you know what I mean?
Cool.
Like, I never see it as like, you know, what I don't like is that sort of, you know, that window period between like Christmas and New Year's, that like, I don't know what to do there.
I'm not a fan of it personally. Yeah.
Like, I understand. In limbo, just like, but New Year's, no. I don't really celebrate it. I just kind of like, you know, oh, hey, New Year, boom, but then back to work. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I normally spend like New Year's Eve, like the days before, or even like the first day of New Year's, of like kind of like writing down plans for like every part of my life that I want to sort of like, you know, if I have like a goal to achieve, like for example, it's like the gym that I want to sort of, you know, achieve a certain goal, I'll do a plan by month or whatever, or music. Mostly music's kind of like the main thing that I focus on.
Cool.
But more other sort of like personal development goals. But like, you know, New Year's, it just is what it is.
It just is what it is. Okay, cool.
Just a new day. Do
you know what? As I'm getting older, I feel very reluctant to celebrating. I just like, my mood is just very can't be asked. So like I didn't do anything last year, and I told myself I was like, okay, next year fix up, do something. And this year I was feeling proper rough. My mates, so obviously I live in Gloucestershire, my mates were celebrating in Wales, and Wales is too far of a drive when you're not feeling very good.
Where's that? Where do you live? Where's that in like the UK? Is that like?
It's like it's not super. It's like a 2-hour drive.
Okay. So it's southwest or?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, southwest.
Okay.
But like it's too far of a drive when you're not feeling very good.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like, I'll miss this one. I'm cool. But then the trains got cancelled, so my friend from Wales came to pick up my other friend. Was like, oh, do you want to like hop in? I was like, oh, even still, I can't be asked.
Yeah.
Which I think quite says a lot when someone's literally driving from Wales to come get you. I don't know. I just feel like I find the energy on New Year's a bit. What's the word? Not like long, but like exaggerated.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, I just like, everyone's like so performative, like so
very
excited.
Much so.
Oh my god, it's
too excessive.
It's another day. It's a new number at the end of the year. Just, you know, +1.
So, question: are you from London?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously where I live, it's like relatively small in comparison, obviously.
Yeah.
So with that being said, if you were to go out, you'd see everyone you know. And
that's
not necessarily, yeah, very much so. And that's not necessarily seeing everyone you like who you know. And obviously New Year's is like when everyone's very much like, oh, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
To people who wouldn't like fucking like wipe my shit. So I am very anti going out where I live because I don't fuck with it. If I have to do anything, I'll be in the space with my own people in like a more intimate space.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm very content with just doing my own thing and just chilling, to be honest.
Yeah. There have been some like New Year's where I've just been fine, just chilling at home. It's like, it's cool. Like, there have been other New Year's where I've there was one New Year's where I was like, I did not want to go outside. I was broke. I think I was like coming back from uni, so I spent my student finance, you know. Came back and like my family was like, oh, come to New Year's. Cool. Came, went to this party. It was, I think, like at the time his partner's like party, someplace
Cool.
in Hackney, go to the flipping house. But why are there so many like white people doing some of that narcotics? Lines
Like
here, lines here, ket here.
White people have no time.
I'm like, have you not got any like vibes? Like you can't just do anything apart from.
They're so dependent on powder.
Honestly,
or losers.
I couldn't believe it. I was like,
yeah.
And do you know what's the worst thing? They even missed the countdown. So I shut my fingers. It's like 2 minutes past 12. I'm like, oh crap! Like
sniffing takes priority, man.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it. Everyone's there like just stoned out of their mind. I'm like, nah. But
I've always really questioned about people that have excessive like usage, right?
Mm-hmm.
That do you actually? So I'm someone who's quite happy to be sober.
Mm-hmm. I've never touched anything like that.
And I respect you. I can't say I'm the same. And alcohol's very hit and miss. I really enjoy, because I'm a conversationalist and because I enjoy the company of people so much, I'm quite easily satisfied, whether with or without alcohol. Just it's great with and great without. I don't really care that much, to be honest. So for me, I've always found it really interesting how some people who I know more than not, they seem to have to always have some kind of like consumption.
Yeah, the ones where like so for me, I don't like going out to the club. Like essentially, I haven't been to the club like really like in a long time. But one thing I just don't like is when people their way of having fun is sort of based off like how much they drink. They can't have fun sober.
Yeah,
they can't have fun.
There's a lot of people like that.
I'm like, a lot of times I don't even drink at the club. Like I can have I'll have like a Diet Coke and I'm fine.
Yeah,
like, I don't even like to drink like that anyway.
Yeah,
I have it like on very rare occasions. So like even the whole thing about like like dry Jan and that sort of stuff. Like everyone at work is like, oh, dry Jan. You have to dedicate a whole month of you not drinking. You want to go back to drinking.
Yeah, that's next.
Come on. Like,
yeah, that's interesting because I find for a lot of people dry Jan is so difficult. But for me, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of what I do, I can't really do it now. But prior to that, I was very much like, okay, cool. Like it was, yeah. I've never really had like any like desperate urges. But I think because I also live in like a space in a house where like there's minimal alcohol, not to the point where mum's like, oh, don't do that. It's just that she's not a heavy drinker, so like naturally you pick up what your parents are like, right? But yeah, okay, cool. So what's your take on like having like resolutions? Are you a resolution man?
In some respects, yeah. Like I think like I think it's always good to go into a new year with like a kind of like clear plan and like what you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't think like you like. I mean, it depends on the person, but I don't think it has to take you a new year for you to sort of change totally what you want to do.
Agreed.
So, for example, like if you like, for example, one thing that I see quite a lot, which is very common, is like gyms. Like they always sort of like open up.
Me and my friend were literally just talking about this.
January. Walk to the gym. Everyone's there. It's like 5 people queue for a chest press machine. Everyone's on the leg press. All the treadmills are like.
Yeah.
But I think like it's a thing of like, if you wanted to do something, that's really important to you. Whatever your goal is, sort of like for example, fitness wise, it can be very like I've not described it other than just. Like, I don't think it has to like take you like a calendar year for you to like change your goals.
Agreed.
Like, if you really want to do it, just do it.
Agreed.
Obviously, for some people, I guess like the kind of like milestone of the year can sort of be seen as like this is like a new chapter. So I don't sort of like grow up people too much who sort of like do that. What do you
Sorry, that wasn't because of that. It was just because of a cough. No, I do agree, but I do think I've seen it a lot of the time by like. For example, something will happen to somebody in like, I don't know, August. But then what has happened, they won't put into practice until the new year. And I'm thinking, so what, are you just like continuing the bad behaviour and bad energy for 4 months when you could have really been putting that in place?
It's like if it's taking you a new year to do that, you didn't want to do it in the first place. You don't actually want to do it.
I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
That's what I think. No, I just think surely if you're so adamant and so determined to like make some kind of change to your behaviour and the way in which you move, does it not make more sense to put it in place straight away? You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like it sort of gives the vibes of like people who are like in, I'm not describing, but like people who are like in relationships but only like sexual, but like they cheat, for example, and only apologize and change when they get caught. Essentially, it's like just don't do it in the first place, like, or just do the right thing in the first place before you kind of like, you know, change your ways, etc. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's very I always see it when people sort of say, oh yeah, New Year, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but it's like July.
Yeah.
It's a lengthy period of time in that, you know, between July and the New Year for you to do something with
Agreed.
yourself. Like,
I'm trying really, but then, I am trying really hard this year. I think this is the first year where I'm trying really hard to actively change my behaviour, to like move differently. I think there's a lot of familiar patterns that I've carried with myself for quite a long time, and this is the 1 year because I'm turning 25 in a few weeks. Do you know what I mean? Like I consider it quite a big milestone, and for me, I'm very much like, right, okay, you've been saying for so long there are these habits you need to get rid of, and I think we're quite good at like shrugging off for a little bit and then going back to it. But like my thing is very much like, right, okay, this year I really want to like shift and like move differently. Like I don't want to share this. So like, I ended a very long situationship earlier this week, right? I know.
Ooh, okay.
With respect to them, I'll keep it minimal, even though they don't deserve that. But yeah,
if it's too much edit to take out the car.
No, it's cool. I don't care. But like to the point that like it's made me realize. It's made me realise what I want out of a relationship. Right. It's made me realise how I want to be treated. Right. I think I've been like receiving the minimum, kind of not receiving the minimum and not like wanting or expecting anything more, because I kind of had it in my mind, this is what I'm going to get, and I expect nothing more. Right. But then when I deep, I think, do you know what? I actually deserve the fucking world. I actually deserve loads. But then coming out of that space and that scenario has made me realise, actually, no, like, there's someone that's going to go fucking crazy for you. Because I've learned something, and like, one thing that I've really, which I continue to learn, which I've learned recently, is that like, men will do the most if they want to. I think we're in this space, in this situation where we kind of accept that like a lot of guys won't do what we want them to do, but that's not the case. He just isn't into you. It's true. If a guy really rates you, he will do the most for you, and he will do what you want. Like I feel like I've always been expecting the bare minimum and compensating because I think, oh, let's meet halfway. But then I think I would move mad for the guy that I care for. So why can't it be reciprocated? Do you know what I mean?
Like if he has the means to do so, if he has the means to do so, and he has the option to do so, and he's into you, he will do it.
100%. Like I've got friends. My friendship group was predominantly like straight men. Probably the healthiest group of straight men I've ever met, like to the point that it's a bit strange. People don't believe me when I tell them they're straight because the way they move, that's a bit weird. I'm like, well, I'm just really lucky. And the way that they will move to their girls is like mad.
Oh, really?
Like they're very respectful, very considerate, very good at listening, apart from the one guy, but there's like 6 of us, so I'm going to let one of them off. Do you know what I mean? I think we have this narrative that, oh, men are trash, men are dickheads. No, they're not. You just haven't met ones that know how to treat you right, or quite clearly you're not the one for them, and they're just using you to stay entertained until they find their worldie. Because it's true though, guys will move and fix up for the people they really, really rate. Like I feel like we're in this like space where it's very much like, oh, he's immature, he doesn't know what he wants. Yes, he does. He just doesn't want you. He just. I am a bit pissed.
No, it's true. It's true. No, I think like, especially like, kind of like, especially when I sort of like started to sort of like get with men or sort of like be around men, sort of like the first thing that you will like notice is that men will go after what they want and who they want right? If they want that person.
Agreed.
Like, so if you're like, and if they're going through, if you've got to go through like so many like hoops to get to somewhere with a guy, and
he doesn't rate you, man.
He don't like you, man. Just move on. Just find someone that like, go on.
No, it's just mad because I've spent so much time trying to like get the attention of people where the interest wasn't mutual.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. The interest was mutual on a sexual sense, but actually like getting to know me and taking me out, they don't care. But you have to go through it to understand it and appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I'm very comfortable now, and I'm very aware of the ins and the outs.
Do you think it's like amplified, like that sort of thing amongst like the queers, the gay men in particular?
Say that again.
Do you think it's like amplified the whole like kind of?
Can you define amplified?
Just like heightened or like kind of like exacerbated.
I think a lot of queer men have had the misfortune of not being able to have some sort of romantic love at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
So the way in which a lot of queer men move in their 20s is the way that straight men move in their teenage years.
Yes.
Yeah, so somewhat.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's applicable to everyone. I think I think it just happens to be applied to enough people that it's a problem. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's the case for everybody. Mm-hmm. But I think that logic does make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I think like it's very I always see it quite a lot when because I always say like even for me whenever I kind of get with sort of like guys or even want to like go on a date, it's like it is such a especially sort of after I did the whole exploration sort of phase sexually, I, even if I didn't want a relationship, I'll always say what I want in like in the beginning, and I would always
kind of... It's a very rare trait, to communicate.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But a lot of guys, boy, they're just like, they're such bad communicators, awful communicators.
Agreed.
It's like, you've got to read them this way, you've got to read them that way. I'm like, I just like to say how it is. Like, I'm not going to hide it, because if I sort of hide something that I really want and that I need, or my kind of, just to have my needs met, and I'm not sort of telling you the truth about it, like, it's not going to make me happy, and it's not going to make you happy because I'm not happy. So, like, it's just a bit stressful sometimes.
And to be honest, though, a lot of guys are quite happy to just have a friend with benefits.
Yeah.
People get more annoyed when you say you want one thing and then move another way. Like, I have a friend. I know somebody who was recently in a situation, got with this person, actually were exclusive. The other person just wanted to shag, but they didn't know how to say it. And my friend was very much like, I would have been happy with just doing that, but because they vocalized it that they wanted more, I misunderstood, which is completely fair and quite annoying, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think you can't get annoyed at someone if you communicate what you want.
One thing I've noticed quite a lot, like, is I think I've definitely, when it comes to like sort of men, at least from my experience, like men and women, when it's sort of communicating like that specifically, I'd say it's like, I think women sort of do it more like sort of like very when it comes to like FWBs, I'm not talking about like one night stands or hookups or whatever. When it comes to like FWBs, a lot of women are very like open, especially not like dating apps. They say, I want this, I want that, etc. Especially when it comes to like stuff like Hinge, where they now give you options to sort of say what kind of relationship you're looking for, and you have like Field and that sort of stuff where they're just open and they just say, oh, I want this, I want that. A lot of women will like just kind of be just very blunt with it. With men, if it's not kind of like the kind of traditional, I mean, so what I've seen with like straight men that I've seen, they can be very so they basically have this thing, and it's kind of like, these sort of like red pill podcast bros that exist nowadays. They basically essentially kind of like tell men that, if you tell a woman that you want to just shag or anything like that, like she'll be turned off or whatever. You should basically kind of like not tell her what you actually want. but just do your thing and leave essentially. But if anything, a lot of them would just respect, like, hey, I want to shag or respectfully.
You can't shame someone for that. I think communication is so key, and I don't know.
Yeah. Oh well.
Here's to hoping in 2024, right? So this is my energy for 2024. Yeah. In 2024, right, I've told myself.
Is your resolution?
Somewhat. In 2024, I will no longer entertain DL men.
Yeah.
I will no longer entertain situationships which last longer than 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. I will no longer entertain men whose only option for meeting is either going for a car drive or going back to the yard. Listen, in 2024...
A car drive's the one thing?
They are where I live, but you got to think...
Oh, yeah, because you live... Yeah.
So it's very much marriage... cohabitation, buying pets together, or let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
But no. So I feel in 2020, I don't know. I feel like I'm really grateful. Sometimes I think when you haven't achieved what you necessarily wanted to get, you kind of diminish and neglect what you actually have achieved, right? So
yes, for me, that is actually a very true thing. I was speaking to this with someone, I don't know who it was recently, but sorry, carry on.
For me, I think to myself, last year I was able to talk to so many people who I have loved for years, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, look at what you've achieved. Look at the people you've spoken to. Look at the people that actually agreed to sit down and talk to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm it's almost like for me, it's, what's next? What's next? And I still feel like that, but I feel very happy with what I've achieved, and I feel very excited because I know that I'm very capable of more greater stuff.
Yeah, but I think that's the true thing. I think for me personally, I get that feeling quite frequently with my music. So I always kind of if there's a song that I wanted to do well, if there was a number of singles that I wanted to release in a year that I didn't release, or if there was XYZ and I didn't achieve that, I'd be so focused on that sort of oh no, why didn't I do this? But things like growing my TikTok, that was really amazing, that I just totally forgot about because that's kind of because you accomplished it, you're oh yeah, done, kind of put it in the archives, that's it. But when it comes to sort of the things that you want to achieve, one thing I always tell myself is it's always it's a long-term sort of thing. It's kind of whatever you want to achieve, you will achieve eventually. And,
I agree.
And that thing that you're stressing about, give it a year when you achieve that thing, something else that you want to achieve, that last thing before, you'll just forget about it.
We always want what we can't have.
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of it's so annoying, right? Because it does give you that sort of inspiration to sort of do the next big thing, which is good because you know that you're not kind of being comfortable and just sort of staying where you are. But having said that, it can be when you sort of focus so much on the things that you haven't achieved or whatever, you can totally just dismiss and kind of ignore all the success that you have that's brought you to that position.
It's a really bad mindset, which I am trying very hard to shift.
Yeah.
But okay. So let's look forward to 2024, everybody, and I hope you all have made. I don't know how I feel about resolutions, to be honest, only because of the idea of how you fucked up in May. But you're only putting in action. I'm more for ins and outs. Have you seen ins and outs?
Yeah, I've seen ins and outs.
Love ins and outs.
What are your ins and outs?
Good question.
Is it on your notes?
Yeah, I do want to move on quickly though, so let me try and find it real quick. Just because I'm conscious of time. Okay, so ins, saving money, more patience, focusing on my show, 5 a day, new fashion boy era, venturing into different types of creativity, more public transport and less driving, and an out, DL man, friends that bring me more stress, annoyance than happiness and joy, goals I don't stick to, excessive dairy take, buying snacks at work and avoiding things I'm wary of.
That's fair.
Okay, but I do really want to...
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Okay, right, so I like to see myself as, other than a podcast, obviously, and a speaker, a matchmaker. Have you got a type, Josh?
With everyone, or just any gender specifically? Are you asking?
Let's do both. Let's do generally first.
Okay. Generally, I'm not into probably more so with men. I'm not into very incredibly masculine sort of if this was the mask femme sort of these absolutely not.
Okay, like, sweet, I'm in then.
So like I kind of like people that are like just in touch with their femininity a bit, or like a mix, or some people that are like, you know, somewhat feminine.
Yeah, agreed.
I like people that are not. Do you know what I mean by plain? Especially on Grindr, there are like plain guys that they just look like very like there's nothing to them. Just like,
yeah,
you know,
I like a bit.
Clothes,
I like a bit of flavour. Maybe.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say, like, you know, just like
whether, I like an indie boy.
Whether it's like fashion or like personality. Or,
I just need like some kind of passion, like burst. Yeah, I hear.
Yeah, whether it's like fashion, passion for something, like a cool job or like a cool interest that you're into. Like I kind of like that. I find that hot. Like I just don't like it when it's like very kind of basic and just very sort of like, you know, very sort of, you know, set in stone.
Agreed.
So yeah, I say like generally that's kind of like what I'm into. Yeah.
Cool. And then like, do you have a preference between men or women, or was it just very much like person to person?
It's a bit weird. I think like it's easier for me to connect with women. On like an what do you mean?
Is that emotional?
Yeah, emotional. Yeah.
Cool.
Emotionally, it's easier for me to connect with women. Sexually, it's probably like 50-50. I think like.
I think we can all like agree that men are just easier to connect with sexually. Yeah, that's just because men are just so. That's just because men are just so horny. It's just unbelievable.
See, you say that, but like I think for me, before that was definitely the case. I think now it's like because a lot of my experiences with like men, especially on like Grindr or like other apps, it's very like, you know, they come with the sexual sort of like from the jump, and it's very sort of like, you know, just all in your face from the get go. Mm-hmm. That turns me off a little bit. I'm like, you know, I kind of like to sort of like I'm very open when it comes to like sexual stuff. Like, you know, on my Instagram I talk about it very openly.
It's not to be, but I mean it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, right? And like, you know, I'm very sort of like into like I'm very much in the sort of like queer kind of place scene in London as well. So it's like when it comes to like sex and that sort of stuff, I'm very, very like open about that. But what I just don't like is when it's like kind of just very kind of like in your face. That turns me off quite a lot. And a lot of times I just like it's a bit weird. I say like before I was probably a bit more.
I think when you're fresh to it makes sense when you be a bit more open. But I think because you have. And like there are certain guys around here. There are certain guys around here who are relatively sexual, and they're quite. And because obviously, let's be honest, our black creative queer space is very small. Yeah, it becomes very familiar. Not too long after these people who are the ones that are trying to chat to everybody.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean? It's not hard to figure out who. But yeah, no, okay, I hear it. What was I going to say to you? How long have you been out for, man?
Don't know. So for me, I never had like a out phase. It was just kind of like I was just like I just said like one point like just if someone asked me, I'll just say it. But there was never sort of like a coming out kind of phase. But I'd say like when people started to ask me when they've been open about it, probably over the last like 3 years or so.
Okay, it's not as long as I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, here's the thing. I knew I was like bi from like a long time. I think like it was kind of like after like when I went to uni, kind of like with everyone, at least from the friends that I know, when you're sort of like away from your parents for the first time, especially me living in Hackney, like you know, a lot of ethnic cultures that are there, and you know you don't want to sort of like do XYZ if you get caught doing something. So you know, went to uni where there's like a bit of more of a safe space.
Where's uni?
Essex.
Cool, not too far then.
So I kind of was able to sort of like experiment and like sort of where there was like a safe space for me, and it felt like as judged. But even then, like I wasn't like out, but I still felt like okay, I can do this here and there.
To experiment.
Yeah.
I feel like bisexuality is a very interesting concept, which people don't seem to always be on full board with. So I myself, I would identify as queer. And that when I say queer, I don't mean... I've never spoken about this before. I think it's because I'm a bit waved. I would never... When I say queer, I mean queer as in not straight, not queer as in gay, not queer as in bi, queer as in not straight. I feel like my comfort is men. It just naturally, just because of just how I've grown up and all of that. However, I'm not reluctant to date. I'm not reluctant to cutting off any group or person. It just happens to be when you have your comfort, that's just what you stick with. I find bisexuality quite interesting and quite difficult for a lot of people, because I feel like a lot of the time people who aren't necessarily identifying with that, they can't really get on board, because a lot of people think, okay, if you're a bisexual person and you're in a hetero relationship, it's very much like, oh, okay, well, they must be straight or they must be confused or whatnot. Or if you're bisexual and you're in a same-sex relationship, people just, and it's for a long period, people are, okay, well, they must just be gay. But I think people neglect and don't appreciate what bisexuality is. And I think, and a lot of people see it as a stepping stone, which I find quite frustrating.
Oh yeah, it's always like you're in denial, like, you know, or like,
how can you comment so much on someone's body and someone's feelings when you wouldn't know yourself?
It's hard, because I think like there's like sort of like bisexual people make up so much of the community, but are very like not that represented in like media or you know so sort of a lot of people sort of perceptions of a lot of like bisexual people, like, you know,
it's confused people
it's it's kind of like, you know, with men it's always like, oh, you're just gay but in denial. With women it's like, oh, you're just in a phase.
Do you know, I was talking to someone the other day, right, and I can't remember who it was, maybe I saw it online, and they were like, it's mad to think how many people in that like 40s and 50s are bisexual and in denial.
Oh, 100%,
Which I think is quite sad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are a lot of people that I'd say, like, even if it's like bi-curious. I think it's just like the amount of people that, like, I think just haven't been given the opportunity to just sort of, from a society point of view, to even like experiment or to sort of, you know.
And I think we need to also normalise experimenting. This is actually a conversation I wanted to have. Actually, I think. Something that I find really interesting is the fact that, like, we don't really, particularly straight men, we don't give straight men the space to experiment without being labelled, right? So in the sense that, like, there are gay men, like, there are people who identify as gay, who have been with women, married women, slept with women, all of the above, right? And these men are gay. They are fully gay. Like, there's no bisexuality. They were with women for whatever reason. But I think there are a lot of straight men who are curious, who will interact and do bits with men and do things with the same sex, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't change the way in which they are labelled. But we, as a community, we seem to be very unfair, and we seem to like attach this label to a straight man who's experimenting, that they must be gay or bi because they've done bits with men, but we don't have the same energy for gay men who were once doing stuff with women. And I've always found it very hypocritical, and it just doesn't make sense. I think as a community, we make so much noise about how to be treated fairly and all that, and how to be open, but we don't give the space for straight men to do same-sex bits and for it to not have a long-lasting effect.
I definitely agree.
And I don't think anyone talks about it.
100%. I think like it's definitely, I think, especially amongst sort of, like people, like men, like straight men in the black community, like that's a big thing. It's just like, you know, I'm probably making a massive generalization here, but from like, you know, Grindr, from what I see, a lot of the DL men that do exist, a lot of them are black, right? And there's probably like a lot of them. I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's the majority, like it's in London.
I don't know if it's the majority, but
but it's a heavy like amount of like, you know, DL men who are black. And it's that sort of thing of kind of never giving the space for those men to kind of experiment. Because even like for me, I've met a lot of, you know, straight women who have experimented with other women.
But people don't seem to make much fuss about
much fuss about it, Like, But the moment is a guy doing something, it's just sort of just so kind of heightened to kind of experiment or do anything. So I just think it's very I don't know, just just very interesting when people just say, oh yeah.
I think it's hypocritical, and it's really interesting because I actually tried to do some research on it because I think I've never seen it, and maybe this will maybe really help me, but I've never seen anyone talk about it. I've never seen anyone online discuss it, and I think it's just so backwards. Why is it we're allowed to accept that gay men or because let's just say gay men because it wouldn't be applicable to bisexual men. But why is it seem to be okay for gay men to have all these past experiences in relationship, all these past experiences with women, and it's not held against them, but straight men can do bits and bobs and that's attached with them forever. There's so much stigma associated with it. But at the same time, there are some really in denial men which actually do really like men and they just can't accept it. So there is a borderline. Like I know somebody who, I don't know if they're gay or not, I don't know what they are, but they've
dabbled.
But there's dabbling and there's like having like a whole book.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Right. Like there's experimenting.
They dip the whole tea, like
yeah.
The tea.
I think there is just a point where like, you know, at what, because I have friends that I have a friend from uni. We're not friends anymore, so if he sees this, I'm sorry. I have a friend from uni who did bits of a guy, but he didn't do it a lot. He did it a couple of times. He didn't, and his words were, I remember him saying very much, he was like, it was okay, but it's not for me. I thought, okay, and he hasn't done it since, to my knowledge. I mean, we don't talk anymore, but last time we spoke, he hadn't done it since. And that makes a lot more sense to me than like some guys that are like, oh, I don't know, and then we'll like do it again and again. That just doesn't add up to me personally.
Yeah, no, it's just such a... I just think it just kind of adds to this kind of... Well, it derives from this, you know, very... what's the word? It's like how we sort of have attached, like, masculinity and sexuality, essentially. It's like I mean, I see it from both men and women in the sense that they sort of see kind of like, you know, this ideal traditional man as, you know, they have to be, like, part of their masculinity, a big part of it is them to be super straight. Like, you know, they can only get with women, and that's kind of like a part of their sort of like masculinity, what makes them a man. Like, it's part of the reason as to why a lot of, you know, at least from my experience, a lot of like straight women, I've seen a lot of, you know, queer men by that, like just from off the bat just as like, you know, more feminine or just like, you know, less masculine than like a straight dude. Maybe a reason as to why a lot of straight women have a lot of like gay best friends. A lot of them don't see them as like, you know, but that's another day. That's a conversation. I don't want to sort of, you know, open different kind of worms, but it's very interesting because I think it just breeds this kind of idea that, you know, women can have this, you know, can be able to kind of do all this stuff, and femininity is never questioned. But the moment sort of a guy wants to just try something, and they're probably just like very manly, very masculine. The moment they want to do something else, it's like, oh yeah, no, you can't do it.
And I think it takes a lot of strength to actually be, because some guys are so in denial they just wouldn't even move forward with it. I think it takes a lot of strength to actually move forward and actually try it.
It is so like courageous and like to sort of like beat societal standards and say, I want to do this, and like, you know, still be sort of that's so courageous. Yeah, no.
Two of my best male friends who are both straight have both said to me that they've sorry guys, have both said to me they haven't done anything to my knowledge, but they've both said to me that they've both had moments where they've been like, oh, am I into the man down? But I don't. They're both in happy relationships.
Okay.
But what does that mean to me?
That's fair.
Tell you what, one thing that I find really interesting, that I feel like, and also I remember when you messaged me and you were saying to me, I want to have a conversation about like the idea of toxic masculinity.
Okay.
But I feel like even as queer men, to some capacity, I feel like as queer men, to some capacity, we're always kind of like striving towards masculinity. I feel like masculinity, in a sense, for queer men, is kind of placed on a pedestal from like two different ends, right? So you have it either in the sense that like you're the queer guy in a relationship who is masculine in himself, right? And that's striving towards that. or you either want to be with a man who's hyper masculine. Right. I think we have this really high desirability for a masculine man, and even though we as a community claim to be a bit more fluent and a bit more open-minded, I think the take of being with someone who is, or being masculine, is still at the core, and it's still like centered.
So I think there's a few things. I think one, I don't think masculinity in of itself is a bad thing, or like it's not like if people want to, like, for example, if someone wants to, I know you're not saying this, but if like someone like a gay man, for example, wants to sort of like go for someone who's probably a bit more masculine, I don't think that's like self-hating. I don't think that's like, you know, or I don't think that's kind of like, you know, a bad thing to say, or like anything about that is bad. I think there's at least for me, I mean, I don't really sort of seek just like masculine, like see hyper masculine, because I'm not attracted to them anyway. But I think there's like a conversation about kind of like redefining masculinity in the sense that can be, you know, not toxic. Because I think the issue is with toxic masculinity as opposed to like actual sort of like masculinity within itself. So like if I'm not sure, at least from the queer spaces that I've been, like, are we talking about like men specifically, or are you speaking about like everyone? Men. I don't think... I've if anything, I've seen like I think in like, so I always say like the queer community and the gay community are two very different communities. I think in the gay community that probably holds true. That definitely holds true. Yeah. In the queer community, I think there's like a much more, there's a bigger spectrum for like expression for who you like, who you don't like. Yeah. There's definitely spaces for people who are non-binary to sort of, you know, whether they're non-binary but sort of lean towards masc, femme, or even both, or neither. Mm-hmm. There are definitely more spaces for them to kind of, you know, express themselves, and people are more attracted for you know, X, Y, and Z. But I think like in the gay community, I think that definitely, I think that probably holds true.
I don't think masculinity is the problem. I think the repercussions of not being masculine is the problem. In the sense that, like, I think a lot of the time it's masc for masc, or men who aren't masc aren't necessarily as prioritised or as valued.
I think that's, I personally think that's like a gay community sort of thing, like a sort of like...
Yeah, maybe it is.
Yeah, I think because like I've been in like quite a lot of like queer spaces where like that kind of like toxic kind of like gay culture around sort of like, you know, like kind of like, you know, shaming femmes and kind of, you know, the kind of archetype for kind of like a gay man or like a queer man in that sense is kind of like very like muscular, this, that, you know.
I find it difficult though, because not to be honest though, majority of men who go to like gay spaces aren't masculine. To be honest, I don't think they are.
What gay spaces are you talking about?
Like events and clubs. I've never gone to like a queer event or a queer space where there've been a huge amount of masculine men.
I've been to, so it depends where you go.
Set me up.
It depends where you go. It depends where you go. If you go to heaven,
Twink Central.
Yeah. If you go to heaven, Twink Central, probably a bit more men that aren't as masculine.
Yeah, I don't get let into heaven, so I wouldn't know.
Really? Is it the whole thing like this? Why don't you get in?
You tell me.
Oh. Is it the whole thing like they kind of like, you have to like look gay or whatever to be there? That's what I've heard. Like,
yeah, but that's not my aesthetic, so I don't know why I would have. But then saying that, I am going for a fashion boy change era, so maybe I'll become more.
Yeah. Potentially, yeah.
Potentially.
But then if you go to like, I don't know what kind of events they are, but there will be like, I know some events like, I don't know if you know Roast. It's like a club night / dark room sort of bears. Very like, but there's like I think like it depends where you go. Like honestly, like there are some events where it's just like, and even me as a fairly, like I'd say I'm fairly mask presenting. Like even when I go to, I've been around those kind of like I'm like, this is a lot. Like even there, like, you know, I'm not a small guy, but it can be very intimidating sometimes. But like,
my friend was telling me, actually, my friend who I was with earlier, he was telling me he went to, and he's straight, but his girlfriend's best friend isn't, or something, so they all went together. Love and ally. And I don't know where he went. He went somewhere in Clapham. I'm like, I'm going to text him after and find out where it was. And he said to me, there's like a room you have to walk through, like a dark room to get to the loo. And he was like, I've never seen so many topless men.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever go into like those like gay dark rooms.
No, like, it's not my sphere.
You just like I go to like play parties or whatever, but like
what's
sort
a play
of like
party?
Same concept, but like the ones that I go to are like more queer, so like not only gay men go there, but like but a lot of bi people go there, or like pansexual people.
Yeah,
and there's just a bit more expression. People sort of like go in like very like bit more interesting outfits.
I'm so excited to move, to be fair, so I can like really like venture into queer culture and queer spaces. I think it sounds very like refreshing.
Yeah, especially in London, like especially like the last few years, there's like a kind of space for people, especially who don't fit into like the traditional kind of like sort of queer kind of archetype, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, sort of like very masculine, sort of like gay men, or you know, there's like a space for that. So I think like there are a lot of events that kind of like, you know, allow for that. So yeah.
Okay, right, but we're going to move on. So obviously this is called the winning side, yeah. So we have a segment called side to side. It's pretty simple. So basically, how it works is I just give you two sides, and we both say which one we prefer, and we give our reasons why.
Okay.
This is usually catered towards the guests, but my friend made this one, and I've actually not looked at it. So
okay. Cool.
So yeah, apologies.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's
fine.
It
doesn't fit your niche.
It's fine. It's cool.
Okay, I think my friend did this thinking you were an actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Film or theatre?
Interesting. I mean, that'll be regards to what I watch. I probably would prefer.
Yeah, they've definitely done this thinking you're an actor. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Yeah. Film or theatre?
Probably theatre. I think I just like live performance. I just like.
I've become partial to a bit of theatre, you know.
Yeah,
but like not in like not musical theatre, more like I saw an amazing show, and I keep on going on about it. Did you ever watch that show about the black boys who committed suicide?
I've seen it on like social, but I never got around to watch.
So
it.
There's a loophole. I probably shouldn't say this. I might have to cut this out. There's a loophole where you can get really cheap tickets because I think it's coming back to stage, I believe.
Oh, is it?
I saw. Let me find out, and I'll see if you can find out. But. So tickets are like stupid, but if you do any community work or anything like that, okay, we'll lie. So if you do,
yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
So if you do, you can get tickets for £15.
Oh, that's
yeah. And my seats were pretty good, to be fair. It was really, really good. And ever since then, I haven't gone to anything since. But ever since then, I was like, do you know what? I actually really rate this. This is
how is it?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. It was a very good. It was very good, like indulging like different perspectives of like black masculinity, and all the boys are doing really well. A lot of them have moved on to film. One of them is actually going to be in the new season of Heartstopper.
Oh, really?
Which is really exciting.
Oh.
Do you watch Heartstopper?
I've seen a few episodes.
So you know Charlie's sister.
Yes.
So the boy whose name I can't remember, I think the actor's called like Dara. He's going to play Charlie's sister's boyfriend.
Oh.
Very talented guy. I'm very, very excited for him.
That's really good.
Let's manifest an interview. But yeah, okay, sorry. So film or theatre?
Theatre.
Cool.
What about you?
I loved that show. But
Is it enough? Like not enough.
It's just one show.
Yeah. Fair.
I love a film, man. Okay. Actually, maybe. Okay. Original or covers?
Original.
I feel like I'm really close to the mic.
Original, yeah. I've not, like, when I perform, I've not done covers in a long time.
Do you find that we're in a space, right, at the moment where, like, everyone wants to hop on a sample, everyone wants to, like...
I mean, it's a certain kind of music that...
Your music's not really, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are ways in which my kind of music can allow for that, but like they're sort of, especially
but not to the point though where it's like, because there are some people in this space, who are making music, and it's to the point where like I wouldn't even call it a sample; it's just copycat.
Yeah, it's just commercial. It's kind of like they just get a song that everyone knows. They take the
like obviously out. Like not to shade, because I know the Barbs will come for me because this has happened quite a few times. But like Nicki Minaj has just released a new album, right? And a lot of it was like very identical samples.
Oh, is it?
And I just thought I'm a bit lost.
Yeah.
I don't. Like, am I missing something?
I think there's like a way of sampling that can be very like artistic, like Kanye West does.
Yes.
No matter what you think of him,
but
there's a way he does it, which is like just like so unique.
But he does it to the point where you can't tell they're samples directly. Yeah. That's the difference.
Yeah. Well, like. What's that song like? Is it Through the Wire? Kanye West?
Pass.
No, you don't know it?
No, I don't, sorry, no.
But like the way he like sampled it, it was just like so unique. It wasn't just like copy and paste, bang.
Yeah.
Like I especially like a lot of these like new like drill songs that have sort of come, some of these like new drill songs that have come out in the last few years, just kind of like put a known song, take off the drums or whatever, sing the melody of that song, but like use different words. I'm like, what's the point? Like,
yeah, what are you achieving?
Yeah. But no, originals more so. Yeah.
Cool.
You?
I feel like when covers are done really well, they're done really well. Yeah. But they're done really well really rarely.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's go with originals. Yeah. And I find it quite refreshing when I hear an original song that's really good, because I think, and it makes me appreciate the artist more, because you must have put a lot of time and work into it, because it just feels like a bit of a weak take and a bit lazy to just hop on a sample and just
it's a bit lazy. It's kind of like
do the minimal to create.
Yeah, a lot of it's just like commercial. Like it's kind of like what can make money.
And the success is usually backed upon the song that was prior.
Yeah,
not to the song you made now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay. Playing. I'm really paranoid about this fucking mic. Actually, no, it's moving quite a lot. Okay. Playing too hard or playing too keen. This has been worded really badly, but I hope that makes sense. So I think it means playing too. I think I'm going to assume what my friend means.
It's like dating.
Playing too hard to get or playing too keen. Yeah, I'm going to assume someone is getting sacked. Pre-warning. Make the notes more clear. I'm joking. You're
playing too hard to get or playing too keen. Probably playing too keen. I don't like. I like communication. Right, and even if that means like a lot of it and like very like intense, I would prefer that over like being like very standoffish and like kind of.
I'm not into second guessing.
Yeah, I don't like, or like for me, I know, especially when I started dating like earlier on, I know what it feels like to sort of like have someone do the whole, hard to get.
What do you achieve?
Yeah, like if you don't like me, just say it. I'm trying to say, if you don't like me, just say it. Like
100%, save my time, save my energy.
Yeah, I kind of like there's this kind of like thing of if you're playing hard to get, you're seen as more valuable because you're.
It's because a lot of people have like low key trauma which hasn't been addressed from when they were younger. People
speak on it. Speak on it.
People want what they can't have. Mm-hmm. People want what they can't have because I think a lot of young people in particular, I'm not even going to say queer people because I don't think that's fair. I think just young people in general have low self-esteem, have trauma that hasn't been addressed. Therefore, they're always striving towards unachievable relationships.
I think it's like the feeling of like chasing something, kind of like we were talking about with regards to the whole like achieving a goal that you were like kind of like not happy about, but ignoring kind of like what you have. It's kind of like that feeling of like wanting to chase something. It's kind of like what gets you going, as opposed to like if it's like just on kind of like just there. It's kind of like
some guys say to me that they like don't like it being too easy. Personally, I don't feel that way. I'm very
don't like just tell me, innit?
I'm like, as someone who's turning 25, I don't have time to like play chase. Like if I want to like play the chase, I'll watch the TV show.
Yeah.
Like I don't have time to entertain anything which isn't mutual or reciprocated. Like my time's very minimal and very restricted. So why am I second guessing whether you want me or not? I don't have the time for it. And if anything, I'm not going to. And this is my new thing for the year after my situation. I don't have the time or energy to engage in it. I will literally just cut it off and dismiss it because I don't care enough for it.
Yeah.
And if anything, I think it's quite selfish to keep someone second guessing.
Oh, it's so like, and you know that they're probably like, because you never know how someone like will react to that. Because I know some people who just kind of ignore it, but other people who are like really into you when you're just like playing with their emotions, they can like react like very, very like negatively about it. I'm just like, here it is. Like I like very open communication. Do I like you? Do I not? I just like I just say it as it is. Just like playing with people's emotions, like it's not healthy at all.
It's quite cruel as well.
It's so cruel. Just for your own like kind of like self-validation.
Like what do you achieve?
Because I feel wanted. Yeah.
But then like obviously that's the case, and I think a lot of guys are like that because a lot of guys will be like in a situationship, right, with somebody, and they don't want to be exclusive, but they don't want you with anyone else, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to be exclusive. They don't want you with anyone else. They can dabble. Yeah. They can have their fun with other people, but you're not allowed to. Yeah. And then when you want something more, they don't want that because they're not ready to commit.
Yeah.
But if you show interest in anyone else, they're going full speed ahead.
Yeah.
It's only when it's too late. Yeah. And I know this because I've done this.
Yeah.
It's only when it's too late that they actually step up and want to keep things moving or roll it back a bit.
Yeah,
but if not, they don't want to know.
Yeah.
They don't
want to know. They want the benefits without the responsibilities. Like actually,
But just communicate and say you just want to do something purely like sexual.
Yeah. I've always said this, right? A lot of guys, I think, a lot of especially straight men, who because that situation is very common amongst like sort of straight situationships. A lot of guys, personally, in my opinion, I think a lot of guys would benefit from having some sort of like open relationship where it's healthy, where you're communicating.
I don't think a lot of women would put up with open relationships. Though.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Really?
Do you? I don't think so.
I don't think a lot will. I don't think so. Everyone. Don't get me wrong.
Do you find that? And again, this is just me like throwing ideas. Do you find that like sometimes the reason for an open relationship can be to prevent like promiscuous behaviour? Because I know
if anything, like not the opposite, but like I think it's a thing of like at least from the way I think like a lot of like people who are like non-monogamous sort of like view, especially like people who are open relationships who but aren't polyamorous. I.e., they have like a main partner, but then like casual relationships with like other people.
So, what is the open relationship? Can you have several relationships, or is it you have one relationship and you mess about with other people?
So, open relationship, yeah. So, open relationship is like one relationship, and you can have casual relationships.
So, if you were to have another relationship, that would class as cheating.
No, because you're communicating, and that's within like.
But I thought you just said you only have one relationship.
No, so wait, say that again.
So if you're in an open relationship, sorry, just to clarify because I'm just not too sure. So you're in an open relationship, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to get into another relationship whilst in that relationship, is that?
Oh yeah, that is cheating.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But you can go on dates.
Casual, yeah. So what you described as polyamory, basically, that's where you have more than one relationship.
Right.
So like all, what am I trying to say? All polyamorous relationships, forget what I said, but no, exactly what you said. What you said in regards to having like more than one partner, that's polyamory. But then like if it's just one partner and many other sort of like casual relationships, that's an open relationship.
I think if there's communication, there's mutual respect. People should do as they please. It's not. I want my person for my person, so it's not something that I'm going to indulge in. But I can appreciate it from other ends.
Yeah. Definitely not for everyone. Yeah.
No, I think people with trust issues, it wouldn't work well very well.
Oh yeah, I think you have to be like very secure within yourself.
Yeah,
and I think like
which I'm not.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it wouldn't work for me.
One thing I hate is like the guys that like want an open relationship but just for them. I hate it so much.
Well, that doesn't count, surely.
No, but they will like manipulate their like partner, most times their girlfriend, to sort of like think that that's like kind of like the optimal thing to do, in a sense of because they think a girl getting with another guy is kind of like different to a guy getting with a girl. So because of that, the girlfriend can't get with other men, but only if women. Or like if they are open, the girl will only get with other women, but not any men. Even if that girl is like mostly straight and like somewhat bi-curious, like those I've seen those like open relationships where it's like not fully open. Yeah, so you're right. It's
selectively open.
But it's like but the sort of like the boundaries at which is selectively, which is open is always controlled by the man, like almost.
Yeah.
In those situations, yeah. So it's very weird.
No. Okay. This is the last one. Yeah. They definitely thought you were an actor. Okay. Acting or singing.
Singing. But I do want to get into acting, you know. I think like
so do I. Really
I don't know how to start, like, because I don't know where to go, like. But I do want to get into acting, like.
Same, but I don't really know the gateway. I've heard so many like wonderful stories where people have no experience and they somehow just got this massive.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, who do I need to talk to?
I don't know. Like, you know how like musicians like will get into like acting role, like Ed Sheeran was in flipping like Brotherhood, whatever, another Hood movie or something like that, like or. 50 Cent is in like a movie or like, you know.
The thing is though that I feel like once you're really established in one thing, you can move into another. So because of what I do, I've had people, I don't know if I can share this. I might have to double check and then cut it out.
Yeah, cut it out.
So I've been asked if I want, you know those people on TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, are like in the street and have like cue cards and ask people questions.
Yeah.
They're like, what's your type of guy? I've been asked to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have like the right energy to do it. I don't think I'm enthusiastic enough. Someone said to me, they're like, no, you're funny as fuck. Like, I think you'd be quite good at it. Like, because you know how like Amelia from Chicken Shop.
Yeah.
They're like, you'd be a bit like that. And that's because I do this. People have seen this and they're like, oh, would you like to do this? I'm not too sure. I haven't really agreed to it yet or not. But I have that opportunity because I did something else. That makes sense.
Okay, right. Okay. No, I'd say you're very charismatic, very like.
Thank you.
I would. I could definitely see you doing that. 100%.
You're very sweet.
Yeah. No, I'm being serious.
Making a move.
Yes.
I'm joking. Or am I? No, I think I'm going to consider it for sure. I think because my mentality is I like to. If I'm given an opportunity, why would I not try it?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So I think. Yeah.
Yeah, 2024 is the year for stepping into dipping your toes into like new waters, you know. Yeah. But no, yeah.
Right. We're going to skip trending topics. We'll do Say It or Shot It, just because I think that's more entertaining.
Yeah, okay.
Have you heard Ariana's new song?
No.
Yeah, that's okay. we'll just move on to it. Right, okay. So we're going to end on this, Josh. So I've tried this. Oh, shit. Okay. So I've tried this before. So this is called Say It. Actually, let me keep it there. So this is called Say It or Shot It, right? So really simple. And bear in mind, these questions have been made so you have to shot because I don't want you to answer because some of them may be a bit awkward.
Okay.
Right? But yeah, no, I mean, pretty simple.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I think there's about 6 questions, maybe.
Okay, cool, sweet.
Okay, so you can actually choose. Do you want...
Hey!
Oh, shit.
You know what? If it's there, yeah. Might as well. Oh god.
Personally, I'm not going to because I have to do another 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But.
Oh. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna get this.
This was so expensive, bro. I couldn't believe it. I think this.
How much is it?
Like £17.
Huh?
I think the guy mugged me off because I'm certain.
£17.
I'm certain. Last time I went, it's the corner shop by the Tube. I'm certain.
Oh, that's a big shot.
I'm sorry. I'm certain the last time I went. To that shop, it was like £8. So I don't know how it's gone up by like £9 in the last.
Inflation, man. Inflation.
What, in like 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Oops. Do you want to go first? I don't know what order they're in. Well, I can go first. I don't mind.
Cool.
Oh yeah, just take one. Leave the pile. If you leave the pile, cool. Yeah.
What's your worst bad habit?
I just thought, is that for yourself or is that for me? Okay, well, you've picked it up, so you're going to have to answer it. Or you could short.
My worst bad habit. That's not be something so fucking like I can imagine.
No, but like if it is literally your worst bad habit, then like we can't shame that. We don't judge on this show anymore.
God. My worst bad habit. Oh God, texting. Like sorry, not texting people. Like so, I just will. It's not even that I forget to reply. I just can't be asked to reply. Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay,
like even no, not you. Like
you're one of. Do you know what? There's different types of bad replies.
There are times. Wait. Let me clarify. There are times where I just forget to reply. When you texted me, I just forgot to reply. But on WhatsApp, particularly,
God, I can smell it from here.
Yeah. You want? Oh, God.
Right.
There are times where I do actually forget to reply, but on WhatsApp, probably specifically, like I'll message someone or like I'm doing, like I'll forget to reply. Then like I'll be in a position to reply, but then like that's like 2 days. Like
and sometimes in my head I feel like I've replied already.
Yeah.
And then like it's been too late. Like I literally. Sometimes I'll go for my phone and think, fuck, who haven't I replied to? But I find voice notes a lot easier in that sense. I'm like, oh, sorry, mate.
I never like, especially if I'm like chatting to someone like on like a dating app or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate texting, man. I just like, hey, let's meet up. Boom. Like, I just don't like texting and stuff. It's a lot of energy, like, to like communication. Like, so, but,
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can't answer this because my parents watch this show. Where's the weirdest place you've had sex? I'm gonna tell you, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna tell you when we finished.
Okay.
But no,
Can I answer to you, or is it for you?
You can answer if you want to.
Oh, is that wait? Are these like specifically for like?
It was one each between, but maybe it's more fun if we both answer.
Yeah. I think let's do that. Let's do that. What's your worst habit?
My worst habit is that I take everything with offence. I take everything as a personal attack.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't appreciate that people could just be in a bad mood and I think now they're pissed off with me.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, that's my worst habit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say this.
The worst place that I've had sex. Should I say this?
That was bad, so God knows what that would be, Liam. Can you tell me after? I'll tell you mine after.
Actually, it's not even that bad. You know what? Because I'm not. It was on top of a castle.
I've heard a lot of worse.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. It's not bad.
What castle?
In Norwich.
Oh, very Pacific.
Yeah.
Why in Norwich?
I was on a date with someone. So I was in uni at this time. I was in uni.
Right.
And someone lived like on the other side of like Norfolk. And halfway was Norwich. And like.
Was this in the day?
It wasn't a day, but it was like January, so it was like dark around like 4 o'clock was, so then like went to a bar.
God, people be fucking mad.
Went to a bar.
Were you drunk?
Went to a bar.
Adventurous. Nice.
Went to a bar, like it was spicy conversation, and I was like, okay, you know what? Might as well. And then got it cracking. Got cracking, yeah, so.
I'll tell you mine after.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to do it now. Okay, pick the next card, please. I'm fucking fair play. I'm so boring.
What's the worst piece of advice you've given?
Oh, this is one where I'm actually trying hard to think of what it is. It's not even that I don't know what it is. I'm just trying to think. What is the worst piece of advice I've given? But now what is the worst piece of advice?
It's a bit weird, but not weird, but like it's a bit like it will make sense. But I've always, especially when I was younger, I've had like friends who were doing like creative stuff or whatever. Like,
not good.
I just say like, oh, keep trying, like keep going, like practice your.
I do believe that's the case for a lot of people, though. I think,
yes, but there was a small section of people.
I think people do get better. I think people do get that. I was looking at my episodes from like a year and a half ago. My conversation is naturally a lot better than it was.
But I think like there are some things where like you can see
podcasting
potential.
is obviously a lot different.
No, not even that. Like I think that in sense of like even with podcasting, like you can definitely like if you've got a concept, if you've got like
like a set like idea of
set idea and there's potential, you can with confidence and with like conversation that comes with confidence and just speaking.
Okay, agreed.
But with like.
Music's one.
Yeah, if you start like an okay voice, which is a bit shaky, you can progress. You'll get there.
Listen, guys, not everyone in 2024 needs to be a rapper.
Oh,
and that's okay.
This is what we take. This is an out of 2024. SoundCloud rappers.
Not everyone in 2024 needs to be a rapper.
Everyone's rapping. We
need accountants. We need builders.
Yes.
I would really like a handyman, but not not for the toxic elements. More to like make things easier for my parents.
Oh really?
Yeah. Make things cheaper for them.
No,
Mum and dad.
That's an out. SoundCloud rappers. I don't want to like. For me,
I don't know. I've discovered some very talented people on SoundCloud.
Yes, but I think what it is. I think like I don't want to sort of say like I'm the best sort of musician out there or whatever. But I think because like now the music industry is very like saturated, like especially like sort of from like an underground level. There's a lot of people that are just like, there's not really a lot of like creativity there. And like a lot of times, for example, I would like go on dates with people and they would say, oh yeah, I used to date like a few sort of like guys who said they did music. And then when I checked out their music, like it was just like some like SoundCloud rap or whatever. When I checked you actually sort of like, maybe because I just do a different style of music to like, those kind of rappers. But I'm just like, SoundCloud rappers go. But yeah, no. Keep trying. That's what I always used to say to people. But
I can't think of what mine is, to be honest. I'm going to say I actually can't think.
Think.
But no, this isn't because I'm trying to hide it. I genuinely just can't think of anything.
Yeah, I couldn't think of. I was trying to think of something better, but I don't know. I couldn't. Yay! Let's go.
What is the last thing you Googled? How to sober up.
Have I got what's that last thing I Googled?
Mine was how to sober up because I went to the pub right with my friend before, and I was literally there and I thought, oh my god, I actually cannot speak for 4 hours. What the hell am I going to do? How to sober up was mine. Coffee seems to be a big recommendation. I thought water would be a better one, but people seem to really die hard for coffee.
Absolutely fucking.
Can I see it?
I've just taken off the tab.
Can you tell me what it is
I'll tell you what it's after.
How bad is it out of 10?
It's not bad. Just.
Okay, yeah, we have to appreciate that people are watching. Okay.
Oh.
Grim, right? This is like water to Jamaicans. Yeah.
Is this water down?
No. Have some juice, that will help. No. Big up the Jamaicans, every blood card time. Okay, right, pick a card, please.
What's the worst date you've been on?
Oh my god, I can tell this from the like.
Go on, you first.
This is really starting to annoy me.
I've got like 2.
Oh, actually, this is better. Speaking like my sound fine. Right, have you been to Breakfast Club?
Yeah, the chain is yeah.
Okay, so I used to go to uni in Oxford. I went on a date to Breakfast Club. Got a brunch. Hate mushrooms more than anything. Anyone who knows me knows how much I hate mushrooms and tomatoes. Hate them. But these ones were like black. Like,
they're the worst ones.
They were blacker than me. I mean, I'm quite light, so it's not the best example. Doesn't really take
blacker than me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can still feel that. I can still feel it in my system, man.
God, and fuck, man. And I said to the woman specifically, please take the mushrooms off the plate. She didn't, and I thought, I don't want to seem like that person who's a fussy eater on a first date.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. So I put them in my mouth and spat them out into a tissue. Yeah.
In front of the date?
Well, like that.
I mean, it's not like it's obvious what you're, But you, okay. That's not that bad.
I couldn't swallow.
Anywho,
Jeez.
oh, for me, I have 2 bad date stories. Well, okay, I have 3. 2 of them are very short ones, not so much. I'll do the 2 short ones, and I'll do the 1 long one. So one date that I had was at uni. It must have been like a few years ago.
I am listening, by the way. I'm just looking.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. One date that I had was like a few years ago. Basically, it was someone that. So I had a placement year when I was at university, and when I was coming back to university, my TikTok was like sort of starting to like blow up again. And then someone who found me on TikTok who was going to my uni messaged me, was chatting me up, whatever. Long story short, when I went back to university, met up with her. She was like half an hour late. Didn't say sorry. Went up to the student bar.
Flag.
Yeah. Student bar where we didn't say sorry. Went up to the student bar where we had our first date. And basically, more or less, kind of. I don't say manipulated, but there was like a way she did it to like basically like get me to buy the first drink, essentially.
This is where women go wrong. Equality? No, joking. Rinse the man dry. I'm joking. No, rinse the man dry.
Get that bag. Take that bag. And then she was like, and then I remember so she was wearing a cap, right? Like a proper like baseball cap on the date. I was like, okay, like, you know, it's like, and then she was wearing like, she had like very long hair, right? She was wearing AirPods on the date, but her hair was covering her ears, so I couldn't see it. She turns to the side, I saw like a white device in her ear, and I was like, you cannot be fucking serious.
That's rude.
That is so fucking rude. I said to her, like, have you got like AirPods in your, and it's just out. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
do you know? So my friend, right? My friend did that to me. We went for, but I don't think she realised. Huda Jamal, if you're listening, I love you. We went to Nana's literally down the road, just like Raw, right? And we were eating, and I thought, why has she got her headphone in? And I was like looking at her, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But she didn't even realise, and she was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was like, no mate, it's fine. At least you weren't doing it on purpose. But that's very fucking rude.
But like, also, you know, what's the transparent sort of thing that you get with the AirPods, where you can like hear things around? Like, can't you tell the difference between like that and like, actual like when you're like it must be. And then she was like, very
rude.
Yeah, but also I stood up. I'm like, you see, I'm very tall. She was like, oh, how tall are you? I'm like 6'2" and a bit. She's like, oh, I think you're shorter than that. I'm like,
how would she know? She's not paying attention.
Yeah, I was like, shut up. Like, okay, like I know I'm tall. Like, why are you trying to like sort of trying to like emasculate me? Or like, I know I'm tall. You know.
I love a tall man. Yeah. She used to be grateful.
And then I messed. Yeah, then I did like a TikTok a few months ago. Then she commented saying, "I fumbled you." It's like, yeah, you, of course, yeah, you fucking did. Yeah, well, yeah, you fucking did. I don't get to other stories, but like, yeah, that. Do
you like short men?
How short?
5'11".
That's not short.
Light skinned.
5'11" is not short.
Cool.
I'll tell you what. I don't like short. So I can't date short people. Well, short as in like 5'3", maybe, but definitely 5'2" and below. I'm like, it'll be very hard for me to look past that. I'm just very tall, and I've been on dates with like 4'11". 5. What are we doing? We're having a different conversation. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, looking like a flipping like exponential. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm up here. Like, I got to bend down to kiss you. Like, no, dead that.
So 5'11's a good height then, really?
5'11's a good height. 5'11's a good height. Anything like 5'9" and up, like, good height. So.
No. Okay, cool. So, what was the question? Sorry.
It was worst date.
Okay, cool. Did you read the card?
Yeah, it was me. So it was you.
Who was the last person who slid into your DMs with a blue tick? Keenan. But it wasn't like that. He was like me and Keenan are friends. It was like Happy New Year. Do you know Keenan the rapper?
Keenan.
You'd know him.
Keenan.
But he was literally like Happy New Year. It was nothing weird. We are friends.
Mm-hmm.
Before someone tries to send this to him and twist it. I want Keenan to come on the show, actually. He's always fucking busy. This is Keenan.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay.
That's my guy.
Okay.
That's my babe.
Oh, okay, I can't. So basically...
if you can't say, you're going to have to show.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what I can't say. So basically, please, don't, oh God, that one finished me, man.
But can I just make it very clear? All these questions you think you've avoided, I will be asking you after we start.
Okay. See, I'll have to go through my...
I've given you the... Oh, never mind.
No, yes, I can't do that again. I'll be finished. But no, so basically, I had a viral video that went got 3.1 million views on TikTok a few months ago.
I need your tactics for getting viral TikToks.
I don't know. I've only had 4 viral. Viral was in over 300k views plus.
I've had 2.
You've had 2?
I've had 2.
Yeah. It's. I feel like.
I just feel like it sounds really awful, but when I get loads of views, I just feel really important.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god, people actually listen to me chanting to a mic. So what's going on?
Honestly, when I had to,
I get paid for this.
When I had that, so when I did that video, it was basically a video about basically one of my types in women. I like women that are thick, curvy, voluptuous. And that got a lot of attention, right? And I kid you not, I had DMs every hour. I probably had 30 DMs.
Well, you're a good looking boy. I'm not surprised.
Thank you. No, but I had DM. It was a lot to handle. I couldn't manage anything.
Okay, so some of the blue tick messages.
Oh, wait, that's a few. I want to say 30 people with blue ticks that message.
Anyone that we'd know?
I'll tell you after. I don't want to. I want to keep it confidential.
We can go to the lounge after.
That's okay.
Yeah. I've got. Okay, cool.
Oh shit! I need to take the.
This is still grim, but it's not as bad.
That's nice. That's nice. No, give me another one. Give me another shot, man. That's nice. Oh shit! I'll wrap it up.
Clearly, the guests don't appreciate that we're on a budget, but that's okay. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Maybe not as much. Maybe
my next guest, Alex.
Oh shit! Sorry.
No, there's one in the bag. It's fine.
Oh, okay,
he will literally drink the whole bottle. He drinks more than anyone I fucking know. Kushki. Okay, cool. I don't know how that. Time's gone by so quickly. It's because I'm a bit.
Time is it?
Bit waved. It's 6 o'clock.
Oh, is it? Oh shit.
Right. Okay. Josh, thank you very much, man.
No worries.
I appreciate you.
No worries. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah.
So, what are your socials for the ladies and for the and for the non-binaries to find you and move to you with blue tips and everything in between?
So my Instagram is Josh Tenor UK, JOSHTENOR UK, and then it's just Josh Tenor and everywhere else. TikTok, it's Twitter, TikTok mainly. That's where you'll find me. I talk a lot of shit, so find me there.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. If you made it to the end of this conversation, I appreciate you, and I'm very surprised because this is very long. But regardless, I appreciate you. My name is Jord Howard. My podcast is called The Winning Side. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I don't know how many times I need to say this. A 5-star rating on Spotify. I will see you next week. I love you and I appreciate you. And yeah, what's up?